I'd like to, I don't know if we can do this in a step process using your three examples. Your three examples deal with a discussion and approval or denial of the alternate conditions. And if that is denied, then go to the second one, which is the original approved conditions. And if that one is denied, then we go back to denial and use it as an orderly process to go through the three, as opposed to trying to do a free-for-all for all three.
If it's the pleasure of the Planning Commission at this point in time to go through all three, I'm fine with that. If it's the pleasure of the Planning Commission that there's a consensus on one condition that they are prepared to move on and make an approval, I'm fine with that as well. I'm just trying to work through this in a methodical fashion so we can get out of here before midnight. So
I would like to rephrase my motion. I would like to make a motion that we consider the alternate conditions in our deliberations.
all right. Is there a second to considering the alternate conditions in our deliberations?
Well, I'll second for considering.
Okay.
Well, if we're considering, we're not. We've already considered, so we probably need some sort of a statement as to where we're going with that on the motion.
I don't think Mr. Pond wants to suffer the embarrassment of being turned down.
I'll go back to my original motion. And my original motion was I would deny the application for the alternate conditions.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second that.
All right. Discussion on the motion to deny the alternate conditions.
Yes, I think the applicants made it very clear that anything less than 43,000 feet would not work for this facility. I think if you go back and look at it, we're basically increasing the square footage, we're reducing the parking, increasing the density, and we have a stressed intersection. And it's not about the church to me, it's about any application that we would get in front of us. So I think it's totally inappropriate to approve this application as the applicant wants to move forward.
Any further discussion? I'm going to call a vote. Those in favor of denying the application's alternate conditions? Ayes?
Aye. Aye.
Okay, it's 5-0 on that. Now we're left with two choices. We can either recommend staff's recommended conditions or we can recommend denial to the City Council. Do I have a motion for either one of the two?
I would move that we we approve subject to staff's original conditions and vote, for all the same reasons we voted that way last month.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Discussion. I'd like to ask Mr. Boykin if he wouldn't mind if we could take what he recommended on the alternate conditions. There was a couple of comments you made, and I think that might be good to incorporate in the recommended conditions. Under the alternate conditions, item D2, the future purchaser or leasee phrase does not have any vested rights.
I'll accept that.
I'd just like to.
Well, I didn't make
the motion, but you were smart enough to add that before, and so I'm plagiarizing a little bit.
No, would leave it up to David if he agrees.
Explain again what you're. I wasn't quite following that.
Well, what we were talking here on item D2 in the alternate conditions, David.
Right.
It was talking about the any approved for the vested right to utilize parking ratio approved the church. By the City of Sandy Springs zoning action upon change of use shall, in addition to all other City of Sandy Springs, Georgia zoning requirements that existed, be required to demonstrate compliance. So, any future user would be required to show compliance with the parking. Is essentially what that paragraph is stating.
And you're saying, would we apply that to?
Add that to the staff's recommended conditions. And then the second part was. Item number 4, we added onto that, was not to be used as the basis for any future zonings.
Fine.
Okay. You okay with that in your second?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion on this?
Yes. I have a fundamental problem. The applicant has made it very clear he's only interested in the 43,000 square foot option and the alternate conditions. So I'm going to oppose this. I'll oppose the motion for various reasons. I think we're just sending mixed messages. They have gone through this, they have brought it back to us and said that the 32,000 feet are not acceptable. And that it's time to move forward and having this, if I can't get the whole loaf, I'll take 3/4 of the loaf. It just doesn't ring right.
Well, keep in mind, he also said that their minimum square footage on churches, I believe, is 38,000 square feet. So it seems to me there's probably some middle ground somewhere in there, but that's not what we're voting on right now. So I'm going to call the question on the motion. The motion is to approve with staff recommended conditions and the 2 additions we made to it. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposition?
No.
No.
3 against, 2 in favor. So that one does not pass. So now I need to have a third motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to deny the application.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right, discussion. I'm going to call the question. Those in favor of recommending denial of City Council, say aye.
Aye.
Opposition?
Aye.
It passes 3-2. We're moving for denial. Thank you.